All right, week 21, Ela W. Hello. Trying to get things set up. Working against a couple of obstacles today. Our projector is not working, so we will be acting as though and going through. This is Ela W, and this is the day 39 lesson on prepositions. It is day 39. Great. So, class, from what we have gleaned in reading your quizzes and retakes of the prepositions quiz, as well as just going through do nows, for instance, working with the as do now last week, it seems like we're still having a lot of struggle just really conceptualizing what is a preposition. And that makes sense because it's definitely trickier than some of the other parts of speech. I think any of the other parts of speech we've looked at. Nouns, verbs, we get that. Actions or things. We get adverbs even because there's that great hint that they end in ly. Also, they describe an action. It's so easy to just put into a little compartment, whereas I think it's more difficult to describe a preposition, even compared to like a conjunction that bridges two different thoughts. This is something that we struggle to say in our own words. How would you say in your own words, what is a preposition? Because we're seeing so much discrepancy when it comes to what's being circled and underlined. What is a preposition? Who can tell us? And so Yadiel says it's where something is, and yeah, it can be that. And so we've been through this before where I always say, like, think about the tree. So if the tree is the noun, which would be the object of the preposition, oftentimes the preposition can be on the tree, through the tree, by the tree, between the trees, after the tree, before. Like, thinking about things in relation to the tree is what I always tell you to do. So try and apply that to any different situation that we see. And going through what's on the board, which should be on the board, let's look down at the check boxes and review what it is the way that we should be thinking of prepositions. And so let's have somebody read the first checkbox. Please, Scarlett, thank you. A preposition shows the relationship of a noun or pronoun to another word in the sentence. And then the example says, I walked along the beach, along the tree. That's what we're doing. We're seeing a relationship between the noun and another word. And I realize how difficult that is to string together, but we're going to keep looking at examples and just try to keep thinking in those terms. Is this showing me the relationship between one word and a noun or pronoun? Next sentence, because we've struggled with the object. The object of the preposition is the noun or the pronoun that follows the preposition. Now let's have someone read the example. Fernando, thank you. The sands of the beach were white. Of the beach. What would be the object of the preposition? Yes, Joshua, and you say the beach would be it, and yeah, beach would be the object of the beach. And I like what it says here, and it's worth us remembering, because a lot of us are still circling objects before we get to the preposition. The object of the preposition is always going to come after the preposition. So look at that. And more commonly than not, and we're about to get messed up on this, but more commonly than not, the preposition will be three words, okay? Because it will be the preposition word, and then the noun or the pronoun. Sometimes we only have two words, and we've run into that before, but most commonly it's going to be on the tree, by the tree, for the tree. Those are the ways that we're going to see this. So let's look at some of the examples. Number one says the book is on the old wooden table. So what do we have for that? This is the do now. You've already had 5 minutes to go through. So what is the entire prepositional phrase, meaning all the words from the preposition until the object of the preposition? What would that be, Uriel? On the table, you say. Okay, who agrees that on the table is the entire preposition for number one that says the book is on the old wooden table? Okay, so I agree with you partly, Uriel. I think that on is the preposition, and I think that table is the object of the preposition. But if we ask for the prepositional phrase, that means we're asking for every single word between the preposition and the object. So who wants to try again? Who can give us now like a second revision? Back to you, Uriel. Let's correct it. So now you say on the wooden table, and that's exactly right. On the old wooden table is the whole prepositional phrase. On is the preposition. Table is the object. And we'll look at number 2. Let's have somebody else for number 2. Jasleen. The cat was hiding under the worn and tattered chair. What's the entire prepositional phrase in this instance, Jasleen? Under the worn and tattered chair. Absolutely. Worn and tattered. What words are those? Are those prepositions? Are those objects of the preposition? What are they? Worn and tattered. Well, they describe something. They describe a noun in this instance. So what are they? Exactly. They are adjectives. All right. Good job with that.